I mean, is that not the most beautiful intro you've ever seen in your goddamn life? It's OPR time, gang, and this time on the Mage, as you can see by my hat. And boy, is it rough to be a mage out there now. Definitely a melee meta. So I thought I'd show an OPR where I have some good group fights. I have some good 2vx fights. Got a little bit of everything. So it sort of starts off slowly and winds up. So stick with it. But I will move us through to when I actually start fighting with people. So this was the start of the OPR. So it starts off with a little bit of a group fight at the start, so it's a little bit slower, but we have a good little 2vx later on. And what I'm just basically trying to do here is stick really close to the pillars, so if any of the melees try to charge me, I've got somewhere to hide, which is exactly what you're seeing here. So I just charge over to the pillars to create some distance. I mean, I can see the big groups going left, so I just go right and see a few stragglers, so just try to bring this Mage down, and then my partner gets the killing blow, even though clearly I did most of the work. And then I think to myself, you know what, rather than go chase after the big Zerg, why don't we go cap Sun? So that's what we do. So after we cap Sun, me and a group of my dear friends head on down to Star. Man, it's just been so Zergy at the moment in OPRs. I don't even know what's happening. And it's not just on our server too, I was watching some streams and it's just happening all over the place. It's rare to have a close finish. It just seems like they cap free nodes, come and spawn camp you, and it's just like that with every OPR. But anyway, here we arrive at the base, and then we're going to have a little group fight to see if we can take it off these people. Pretty sure we outnumber them, so we're just going to get in there. So I've got that confidence that I've got people behind me. This guy's clearly outnumbered, so I just decide to flamboyer him and finish him off, and then I do a big sneaky chasing to the node, and then just start blowing all my AoEs on people and try to back them out outside. As you can see, I'm making good use of that flamethrower, but you know, I'm gonna make it work it while it lasts until they bring in the mana nerf. So we cap this node, our whole team seemed to come over, but then only to find that they've just back capped our two nodes. So we're definitely on the back foot. I just come out to try to obviously finish this guy off, but my stormtrooper aim just missing there a little bit. And then I look to my right and oh hey, there's their whole team coming down the hill. So I just back up a little bit to the palisade, so if anyone does come to try to attack us, we've got our kind of little safety place we can hide behind. And I'm just trying to kind of get some of the people on the outside. Basically what I do is I try to use my fire staff just to ping them, and I'm just trying to draw some of them to me if at all possible. Sometimes it doesn't always happen. I can push up a little bit though because we've got a group and we've got healers, so I'll be a little bit more aggressive than if I was on my own. So at this point it's just, you know, putting in big AoEs into their group, finishing people off. I decide to push over here to try to get a guy and realise it's a terrible mistake because I'm getting pinged by just about every bow person out there. So, yeah, there you go. So I just move back, and then as a group we start to move into Sun to try to claim that back. So it's just kind of, you know, a little bit boring at the moment, a little bit just group fight, trying to do what we need to do, you know? Get two nodes off them, and get the score ticking up. So just kind of fighting with the group at the moment, but the little 2vx fight happens not too far away from now, which is also fun. This is kind of why I like this OPR, because it was a little bit of everything. A bit of a group fight, some kiting for my life, and a little 2vx. So at the moment it looks like we're about to 3-cap them, and so we're just wanting to put as much damage to them as possible to sort of back their group up.
Yep.
So rather than just stand in front, fight them front on, I try to get a little bit behind them and to the pillars, so that if they all start to charge me, I can run up the pillars. So I see this guy, get my fire staff, do a big AoEs on him, and then flamboyer him to death. And then, yeah, just trying to sort of attack them from the side. I'm feeling a little bit safe knowing I can just skip away through to the pillars if I get attacked. Do an amazing burnout there right into the rock. And so yeah, we've got the advantage, we're pressing them, so it's just a matter of leading the charge, so to speak, and dropping lots of AoEs on people and blowing them up as we move down and go and try to get that triple cap with Star. I find myself another little flamboyant victim. So I managed to get him low, but then someone else gets the finishing blow. So one of the problems I'm finding with mages is they don't tend to get the finishing blow a lot, but you do get a lot of damage. So yeah, so as you can see from that score, I'm like second at the moment. When I play by myself, my damage tends to drop. Just when I'm playing solo, my damage tends to drop, but it's usually pretty high if I'm playing with a group. So here we are. We're going for that third and final cap. And again, just trying to put all my AoEs into the group and do as much damage as possible. Flamboyant and another person, but he gets away. So just come in, do a great blocking of the door with my iceberg. Yeah, so things are going pretty smoothly at the moment, and I just want to press on them a little bit, so I kind of see, because there's so many snipers, I sort of see everything as like, you know, from one line of sight to the next, so I'm just going to the palisade, so I've got that bit of safety. I kind of get for some reason I get stuck in my prone position, so we're just attacking them from here, trying to put some damage into them. But we're sort of just staying near that line of sight. Managed to finish them off with my big ice storm. So really, we're just trying to pull some people into a little fight where we can pull them away behind, you know, the trees, so we don't get like a huge clump of people. So a little bit unsuccessful at the moment. But I see this person over here to attack, so I do my burnout to close the gap. Chuck an ice storm on them, and then realise they're going to get away, but then see this other person up here on the right, so change targets. Then I think they realise, oh, they've changed their target to me, but they kind of get themselves a little bit stuck, and then I can burn them down with flamethrower, and then old Monty Pylon here is doing a great job and gets a second kill for me without even me being there. So we're kind of on our own now, so we've got to be a little bit careful. I managed to kill this guy here with my ice gauntlet, and so we're just, yeah, trying to pick people off from a distance without pushing too hard. So these guys are kind of like attacking us with bows from a distance, so we're a little bit far away to close the gap on them. So we just move over to those rocks that are closer to them. And my original plan was I'd stealth up basically, and hopefully they'd walk down to get us, but they don't. So, and this is kind of where the fun 2vx fight begins. And the great thing is they keep coming down in waves, so we're able to just keep picking them off for like a really, really long time. And so yeah, they're still being quite timid. So I try to push up, but then realise that heaps of them are coming out, so we move to the next rocks as they push down. And so this guy's trying to get me. I chuck down Monty Pylon, chuck my ice storm on him, and then I burn out into him, and he regrets his decisions to get a fireball on him, and then I have a flamethrower contest that he loses, but he's got all his teammates, so I have to back up a little bit. But this is kind of like the perfect fight for me, because I can keep running around the rocks, dropping down my AoEs, putting in a little bit of damage, and just kind of slowly wearing them down until I need to apply my burst. My teammate's doing a brilliant job of kiting them, and so yeah, they've just built up too much, so we have to create more distance, so we move over to the statue over here. So I make my way up over to, I think that's a statue that just looks like it's fallen down to the ground, right? Is that like a head? I don't know. It's something. It's a bit of concrete coming out of the ground. So I walk up to see how many people have followed, and it's just this one guy. Oh no, there's two of them. And so I drop a fireball on them. I don't think they realised that's where we were. So I do my burnout into them, and then put Monty Pylon down, and then get my flamethrower on them. They're a healer, but yeah, they really don't like that. So we managed to finish them off. And then it's just this one last person that suddenly realises, oh, it's two of them and one of me. Get a fireball up on them, and then we manage to finish them off. And so then we head back up to see who else we can pull down to our little death trap. So move up to the main door. We see some melee coming out. So yeah, just sort of firing at them, hoping that one of them is gonna come and try to attack us. And then one of them decides to go for it. Then I have this like little genius idea where I put Monty Pylon on the top of a rock, and then I'm just dropping all of my AoEs on them, so everything's going really well, except I think he's going to go right, so I do my burnout on him, and then he goes left and I go flying off the rock. So and then I've got my teammate up there taking a lot of damage, and I can't really do a hell of a lot about it, but he jumps down, and then I chuck a fireball on him, and now we've got this tree that we can just keep running around, and I can keep dropping my AoEs on him. So he is not in a favorable position right now, and he realizes it, and he obviously backs off. So now the numbers have built up a little bit. So I actually managed to land like 3 of my ice gauntlet shots on that dude, which is pretty amazing, because usually my aiming is like a blimmin', you know, as I've said, a stormtrooper. And so we've just back down here to see if anyone was going to chase after us, but they don't, so we push back up. So it's just kind of like baiting them into chasing after us, and then we can drop the AoEs on top of them. I just thought, like, I've been trying out different things on the Mage. I'm definitely like an Ice Pylon. I think it's actually really worth having. And I'm also thinking Flamethrower is kind of a must-have because it allows you to apply a little bit of burst, which is a little bit hard to come by. But I am actually missing Ice Spike, so one of the things I really want to try is where I give up Ice Tomb and try to use Ice Spike as well. But I don't know, giving up Ice Tomb is like a big defensive thing to give up. So yeah, but I mean, it's worth a try. Gotta try different things. This melee meta is rough, so gotta try something to help make things a little bit easier. But you can see that we've pulled away, and then someone's chased after us, and so it's literally us just killing this one guy again. Well, not again, for the first time. He comes and puts a root on me, but yeah, it's a little bit too late for him now. Got him in my AoE, got him flamboyade. There's not much he can do at the moment. So it's just a rinse and repeat where we move back up the road to the wherever it exits and try to pull some more punters down into our fight. But I think this is where I get a little too close to the sun. And yeah, but I'm sure you'll find out what happens. But
Yeah.
so this one guy comes out, he runs himself out of stam. I don't know why I got into prone there. But he tries to get in, but I stop him from putting down Monty Pylon and AoE on him. But then one of his mates comes out to save him, so I burn out into him and then try to finish him off pretty quickly. And then it's just a matter of finishing this one guy off. And then here, I always feel bad for him because it's just like, what's he gonna do? You've got a bow and a mage firing at you, and you're in heavy armor. It's not like you can outrun anyone. But you know, all's fair in love and war. So these 2 other guys charge out, try to see if they'll come and fight us. We get another. This guy decides that he'll give it a shot. I don't know why I didn't dodge that, but I managed to get him. I managed to get out of the damage, getting this gun a bit of flamboyant. So the numbers have built up quite a bit, so we do a little bit of a tactical retreat as per, and hope that some of them follow us. And so we're just really see how many of them drop off the rocks. So we sort of back up to see, hopefully that they just get them to try to jump off those rocks and follow us. So I just do a little loop, come back up, but then only one of them has jumped off. Unfortunately, it was that guy that we were fighting before, so unfortunately the same fate is going to meet him as the 2 other times. So at the moment, I think we're doing a pretty good job of like holding people up because we're taking quite a few people out of the main fight, and as you can see, that's been enough to help us almost cap 2 bases, so 551 to 351. So I feel like we've been enough of a nuisance that we're applying a little bit of pressure on everyone. Yeah, so this is where I fly too close to the sun. So it looks like we've got this guy under control, just adding some flamethrower onto him, and then all of a sudden everyone comes up behind me, and then I get caught in some nasty stuns, and I think I'm out. So I go to do my, he's stunning me, I manage to get out of the stun, and then I go to do a burnout, which I actually do pull off, but then I chase straight into an ice shower, and then it's the end of me. So yeah, and so we hightail it back to Star. We already have Moon and Sun, so as we make our way back there, just trying to throw a few fireballs off. But yeah, I mean, that was a pretty good 2vx, but basically we're just stringing them out and fighting a couple at a time. And I think that's just really important now, especially as Mage and a bow because it's hard to deal with a lot of melee all at once, because they only need to get on you and they're going to put a hell of a lot of damage into you. So these two people jump on my teammate Leos, so I jump a bot of AoEs onto them, do a little bit of a flamboyant to just bring their health down a little bit. Obviously, one of them is healing, but I managed to kill one of them. And yeah, this guy's just screwed basically at that point. And then we make our way up to the base to see if we can capture it. So we end up almost capturing it, but then a whole bunch of the enemy team starts to push in to try to stop us from getting it. And their numbers just keep coming in, so I say, you know, we need to back out because we're going to get absolutely wrecked if we stay there. So at this point I just stay on the top, and then I do a silly thing and fall off the side. So I used my burnout to do a quick retreat out the side. But once I realised that there's no one chasing us, we pushed back, and then realised that our team is actually starting to push back in again. And so it's just group play once more, getting a lot of the AoEs off. I get quite aggressive, I like to push in there, especially when I know I've got a team behind me. So I push in, I get a couple of melee dudes on me, so I push back out. And then yeah, big fire, put a big ice storm on them, throw my fireball in there. Just trying to plow in that big damage so that we can try to apply a lot of pressure to the whole group. And that's one of the things I like about Mage, is the ability to go from that single play to the group play. You know, it's like really good at that, because it's also a really good group spec, because obviously you can apply a lot of damage to a whole bunch of people with all the AoE damage that it has. And so yeah, right, so here I'm just like absolutely running for my life. This is where the kind of kiting comes in, because I just seem to keep getting chased by people. So I'm really low health, running to the palisades to try to like just create some distance, get my stamina back, get my health back up. I see this guy's getting attacked by these people, so I try to put down Monty Pylon to get some damage on them, then realize the guy dies, and then it's just me and a whole bunch of them. And you may be wondering, gee, does Camo get away in that situation? And you'd be thinking the same thing as I was thinking at that time. I try to run through here because it's kind of not what people are expecting. And so yeah, I'm just kind of kiting for my life right now. I know a whole bunch of them are chasing me, so I'm just trying to get behind line of sight so I can't get hit by any mages or bows. And then I finally managed to make it to safety. So I come back, and we're back on the doors to try to get through the doors so we can recap this thing. And someone charges out, so we just try to finish them off, but I think they make it around the corner and get away. Better things to focus on right now, especially because they're a healer. So I try to do as much damage to them as possible. And I don't know why they're not trying to run away. I guess they're trying to stand in all their heals and stuff. But eventually they flee, and it's probably not a fight worth... Yeah, it's not worth chasing after them. Better off just trying to get inside and cap the node. So that's what we go back to do. But then we suddenly realise we've got a whole bunch of melee chasing after us. So it goes into a cowardly tactical retreat. And so I realised that we've got some teammates up here, and I'd rather be near some line of sight. So we just push into these big concrete columns here, and I try to put an ice shower down to help my teammate escape, just trying a little bit of damage, but then I suddenly get surrounded by them, but then our teammates also show up, so now the hunters become the hunted, and yeah, I'm just trying to do damage, but I see that there's a whole bunch of range sitting on that road there, so to push out there would have been like sure death. So I just come back in and try to apply some pressure onto them so we can kind of push them back and get this Zerg moving down the hill. Again, not one to just take them front on, we just try to sort of move to the left of them a little bit. Again, just near line of sight, and then just keep kind of pinging them with our ranged attacks until some of them either come over and start to fight us, or you know, we basically wipe them out. Even just applying that pressure on the back line makes them focus on you, and then they're not focusing on the main Zerg, and then that helps the main Zerg wipe the people that are up there. So even just doing this and maybe not killing anyone is still doing a pretty good thing overall. And so I can see that our teammates have won that fight, and so they're going to be pushing down behind us. So I start to push up, but maybe just a little too soon because every melee seems to be jumping off at the same time, and once again I find myself fighting for my life. And then not only do I have to deal with those melee, I have to deal with this fucking bear trying to bloody make my life a goddamn misery. So yeah, things aren't looking good. Still managed to get Monty Pylon down though, so, and I'm just trying to get to a group and I get caught in a whole bunch of stun chains. I'm just like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm still alive, but somehow I managed to get alive, get to safety, and then my first instinct is burn out right back into the group. So, but here we've got a lot of safety now, we've got heals, so now I'm just putting a whole bunch of AoEs onto their team and just trying to kill people. And then just when I think things are nice and chill and got things under control, that fucking bear shows up and just won't leave me alone. It's just like he seems to have singled me out, and he's just like, you know what, I don't like the look of you, and he just keeps trying to bloody, and it's not so much that he hits hard, it's just the constant bloody CCs. But yeah, so I see, once again, I just poke up out of the palisades and get a kill on this guy with my flamethrower. I've got this other guy that's trying to, I thought he was attacking me, but he's just trying to get away. But yeah, just kind of picking people off. Nice little group fight. There's that horrible creature to the left of us. And it's pretty much GG, game over. So all in all, got 12 kills and I was third highest in terms of damage or score in our group. So that was basically it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will get some more Mage videos coming soon.